Hello everyone and welcome to a really wonderful game from round 4 of the FIDE Grand Swiss. It's a game between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Anton Demchenko. It's a great attacking game and it will surely improve your Sunday at least a little bit. So let's dive straight into it and check out what this game is all about, as it will affect, well, probably not only the standings but also maybe even the candidates tournament for the next cycle. So Maxime with the white pieces opens with e4. We have e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to b5, going for the Ruy Lopez. And now, not the usual a6, the Morphe's defense, but rather g6. This is sometimes called the Mr. Barnes defense, sometimes the Smyslov defense, sometimes the fianchetto defense. All in all, black is preparing to fianchetto the dark square bishop, which is very, very interesting in the Ruy Lopez. So here we have c3. Maxime goes for that central occupation right away, bishop to g7, and now d4, striking in the center. E captures, C captures, and a6 now challenges the light square bishop, bishop to a4 and b5. So bishop back all the way to c2. Now the e4 pawn will be nicely defended, and d6 now. And here you have to decide how do you want to develop. For example, h3 is possible if you want to prevent a move like bishop to g4. d5 is also playable. Fabiano Caruana played d5 here against Shahryar Mamedyarov in the Grand Chester Rapid in Leuven in 2018, and he lost that game. But here, yeah, we have h3, which means that black is probably developing this bishop to b7 as well. All of these squares are taken, d5 can be played, this will be taken, so it doesn't really make sense to develop the bishop to d7. But okay, here we have knight to f6. Black is now also ready to castle. White castles, and now castles is a move that has been played in all the instances that this position has been reached. But here we have bishop to b7 by Demchenko, and it is now only as of move 10 that we have a completely new game. So let's see how MVL continues. We have a3. And now comes castles. We have rook to e1 and now rook to e8. We have bishop to g5. You could, instead of rook to e8, maybe play h6, prevent bishop to g5. But if bishop to g5 doesn't bother you, then h6 would just be a weakening move, as this is the defensive structure that you prefer. Pawns are light squares, your dark square bishop fianchettoed in between, and you do not want to push those pawns unless you have to. So rook to e8 first. He's not worried about bishop to g5. This is what Maxime plays, and now h6. Now you chase away the bishop, bishop to h4, and now knight to e7. Now not worrying about this pin here, but also just going after the e4 pawn. So knight to c3, defending the pawn, and now knight to h5. It's very interesting. You could go for g5 here, and it's probably a move you should play. And then after bishop to g3, now knight to h5, attacking the bishop. And once the bishop moves, now knight to g6 with excellent control over the f4 square is what you probably want to play here. But he went for knight to h5 right away, and here he allows Maxime to really grab some initiative. And Maxime plays e5 here. I will just show for fun, because I know how much you guys enjoy this. Queen to d2 is a super fun move. Very nice developing move. You're ready to bring your rook into the game, and now g5 no longer works, because now this sacrifice will be deadly. Bishop captures, h captures, queen captures, and now your knight is hanging. After knight to f6, we can play e5, and this is just bad. If captures, then rook a to d1 will be really a problem for black, and if knight f to d5, even e6 can be played, and this is just terrible for black. So just thought you guys might want to know this, as you know, it could happen in your own games when black is ready to push g5, or rather when black is not ready to push g5. So instead Maxime goes for e5. We have queen to d7, and now comes d5. Another interesting approach is just e6, just weaken that g6 pawn, and for example after f captures we eliminate the defender of the pawn, and after rook captures even knight to h4 now going after this pawn, and it looks very ugly to play this for black. But okay, Maxime has a different idea. He plays pawn to d5, and now asking what is happening with this pawn. And it's very interesting. If you go after this pawn, then knight captures, and if bishop captures, well, then just rook captures, and you have to take care of the knight somehow. If knight to f4, we just go after it with rook to e4, and then if knight goes back to h5, we just play g4. So we're gonna get rid of this knight from here either way. And if you don't do that, if you play something like this, then we happily, you know, capture this, and it's well, it's a dead lost position for black. There's not going to be all that much you can do about this. So instead, after d5, we have knight to f4 right away, and only now e6. And this is where the well, this is approaching the critical moment of the game. F captures on e6 was played. We have d captures on e6, attacking the queen. And now the question is, can black capture this pawn on e6? And the answer is, not only should black capture... yeah, I messed that up. Yes, the answer is yes. Of course, black should capture, but this was not played in the game. If knight captures on e6 is played, it looks very dangerous, but black can indeed hold this. For example, knight e5, going after the g6 pawn, attacking the queen. Of course, the knight cannot be captured. The queen is hanging. We're going to play bishop captures on e5, which already looks bad because you've given up a very strong defender. But after rook captures on e5, we play c5. Idea being that it's just a very nice move, and also bishop to b3 going after this diagonal can be met with the simple c4. So this is very important. And now if you go for something like bishop captures, rook captures, and knight to d5, now attacking the rook, also threatening knight f6 check to pick up the queen, we're going to capture this, and after queen captures, we're going to play rook 8 to e8. So nicely defend everything. And now you can't really play rook to e1 to continue piling up, because just pawn captures rook. The queen is now nicely defended, so you're going to have to play rook to d1. And here we basically trade down into an equal endgame, just captures, captures, captures. We're going to play captures here, and after rook to d8, we can play captures, captures. And now bishop goes captures, and we have an equal endgame, bishop against the knight, 5 pawns each. So this is what can be reached after a move like knight captures on e6, although, you know, many other lines can be reached as well. However, queen to c6 was played here, which looks excellent, as it puts incredible pressure on this g2 pawn. So if the knight moves, you could get checkmated, but it also loses the game for black. So feel free to pause the video here and try to find the absolute best move for Maxime here, while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding this incredible idea, as it's not easy to find. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is, of course, rook to e4. That's the good stuff. Not only do you put something in between that queen and bishop, so you have more space, you know, to maneuver as you don't get checkmated, but also you're threatening to pick up the knight here. And there's no good way to take care of this. If you play something like g5, which seems like, you know, it should work, we just capture that. Rook captures on f4, and now if this is captured, then queen to d3, and now you're really getting destroyed. There's no defense here for black. So what was played in the game is knight e to d5, just adding another defender to the knight, and also trying to trade off one of white's pieces. So Maxime captured on d5, we have knight captures on d5, and now rook to g4, going after the g6 pawn. So how do you defend this? Well, there's no good way to do it. Rook captures on e6 was played. Now you are, okay, maybe if rook captures, you can capture here. But now Maxime doesn't even bother with that. He just plays bishop to b3. And now another reason why this pawn push to c5 was very important, to play the c4 move at some point. But you know, in order to eliminate this passed pawn, you had to go into this. So here, bishop captures on b2. Black will grab some pawns here for the exchange. Rook to b1, bishop captures on a3, and now, of course, knight to d4, attacking the rook and the queen. Queen to e8, and now knight captures on e6. We have queen captures on e6, and queen to d2 now. So now you're not worried about, you know, anything here, because you've made room for rook to d1, which will put more pressure to the knight here, but also you're just threatening queen captures on h6, followed by rook captures on g6, and this is game over. So h5 was played, attacking the rook here, and here Maxime just played rook to e1, and it was in this position on move 28 that Anton Demchenko resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Because you have to move the queen, and you have to keep an eye on the knight. If you play something like queen f7, rook to f4, and there's no defending the knight anymore, you have to move, then bishop captures, knight just wins. Other than that, you don't, like, you could play queen to f5, then rook f4 again, You don't have to worry about this because the knight is pinned. Again, we're gonna pick up this knight. It's not a problem. And what you could play is something like queen captures on e1 with check. It seems like maybe it should be possible we get 2 rooks for the queen, but still just queen e6 check, and we also pick up more material. You know, we really don't care here. And probably we can even just deliver checkmate with our queen and the bishops. But yeah, after rook to e1, Demchenko resigned, and a very nice victory for Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, which puts him to 3 points, and that is excellent because although there are several people on 3 points so far after 4 rounds, it is only Firouzja who is up 3.5 points, who is currently the sole leader of the tournament. And in round 5 in today's round, it will be Alireza Firouzja versus Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. So they are fighting for that spot in the candidates for sure, but also fighting for the #1 French player spot, because as you know, Alireza no longer is representing Iran. He's now representing France. He had a few years of representing no one, I believe 2 years, could be more. But now he's representing France, and Firouzja is currently the #1 French player. Well, I think he's not currently. As of tomorrow, he will be, because then the rating changes. But if he loses to MVL today, could be very different. So we'll see what happens, you know, with everything. So yeah, that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A very nice attacking game, and it really shows you how sometimes here, like in this position, you really have to go for these ugly positions and, you know, find moves like c5 just to be able to meet bishop to b3 with c4 to survive such crazy attacking games. Once again, hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to wish a very happy birthday to Holden. Hope you win many games and even more of them with the Evans Gambit. And I would like to thank George Northworthy, Frank Truslov, Brian Stube, and Rajarsi Chowdhury for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of this spectacular tournament, checking up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.